Right. Friends, I hope everybody is having a really good day. I'm super stirred up and excited to see where the body of Christ is going right now. Don't pay attention to what you're hearing in the news and on secular just news stations. I'm telling you, God is doing some powerful, powerful things. Pray for our nation, pray for the nations around the world, and make sure you are putting your head on the chest of Christ, just like John the Beloved, because God is moving, He is shaking, He is shifting, and He is doing so many powerful things. I've never in my life seen more people walking in the calling that He has for them. I've never seen so many people who are manifesting the destinies that God has spoken over their lives. And so I'm super stirred and excited just to see so many of my friends and family that I personally know just going after the things of God. And also all of our social media family on YouTube and Periscope and Facebook. They message my wife and I on a daily basis, and we hear of the great things that they're doing, and I'm so excited. And I always want to offer personal prayer for anybody. Go to jojodawson.net. You can email me on there. Send me your prayer requests. I'll be glad to pray for you. So let's get into this. Recently in a time of prayer, I was just going over a prayer list of different people just like you that have emailed me, and I've got a list down of people that have messaged me, that they've emailed me, they've messaged me on Facebook, and they've sent me emails and how I can pray for them. And I was just praying for all of these different people. And as I was praying for them, the Lord spoke something very powerfully to me. And it was so profound. And the Lord, it was like a prophetic word, but then also it made a lot of sense. And the Lord said, people's hindrances from the past season are over and gone. They're not there anymore. And so when the Lord spoke that to me, I just really started just thinking about it. I recently had somebody who messaged me and said, I was healed and delivered from cancer, and I'm just afraid it's going to come back. And I understand you worrying about that, but it's gone. People message me all the time. Oh, I had a financial issue at one point in my life, and I don't want to go through that again. Or I had an infirmity, or this or that happened, or people at work used to attack me so bad, and I'm worried about that. Listen, if a new attack comes your way, that's something new. But you can't look at the past and let the past hinder your future. I remember a time when I was a young kid, and I would ride my bike around the neighborhood, and I would start creeping up around the corner, and I would start going real fast around the corner, and I would go around the corner in the curve, and I would speed past his house because this one lady had this dog that would always chase me, and it would bark at me, and I would get scared. And if it was way out in the yard, it would get right up to me. But if I could beat it around the corner, it would never get close to me because I would go fast. It would chase me to the end of the yard and it would stop. And then I kind of quit riding around that way because I didn't want to face that dog. And one day I saw the lady at a little grocery store, and she said, "Oh, hey, Jojo, I don't see you ride your bike, by my house much, anymore." And I said, "Oh, no, ma'am. I'll be honest, I'm afraid of your dog, and so I don't want to ride around that part of the block because I'm afraid your dog's going to chase me." And she said, "Oh, did you not hear?" I said, "No, I didn't." She said, "We had to put that dog down about 2 months ago." And I said, "Oh." So for 2 months I didn't ride that way because I was worried about that dog chasing me. But the thing was, that dog's been gone for 2 months. You got to understand that. I listen to kids that are playing little league sports, and they're going to these different tournaments and stuff. And they're like, "Oh, I hope that one team wasn't there." And I remember times I would talk to kids and my kids and their team. I'd be like, "Hey, we haven't seen that team in a tournament in 4 or 5 tournaments. Why are you even worried about them? They barely even beat you. Why would you even worry about them?" Because in the past something happened to them. I remember a guy telling me one time, he said, "I'm so scared, Joe, that my wife's going to divorce me." And I said, "How long have you been married?" He said, 29 years. What'd you say? 29 years. Well, why would you be worried that your wife's going to divorce you? You've been married for 29 years. I said, "Were you married before?" "Yeah, I was married for about 18 months and I got a divorce." I said, "Look, man, you got a divorce when you've been married for 18 months. This lady's been with you for 29 years. How do you treat her? Oh, good. Treat her like a queen. Take care of her. Just very kind to her. Pray over her. And I said, man, she ain't going nowhere. Been married for 29. Why are you worried about a woman who left you 18 months ago? Man, you've been with this lady for 29 years. Enjoy it. So many people cannot enjoy the present. They can't enjoy the future because they're stuck on the past. But man, I'm telling you, what the Lord spoke to me about is so many people, His children, are worried about the past repeating itself when they could be focused on the future. They could be focused on the prophetic word that God had for them. People tell me all the time, what if it doesn't work? And I always look at them and say, well, what if it does? Listen, I never go into a new business. I never go into a new ministry. I never go into a situation thinking about the worst. I always go into a situation thinking about the best. Philippians 4:8. Philippians 4:8. Think upon the things that are good, that are noble, that are just, that are praiseworthy, that are good report. I went to a church last year. And this pastor, big, nice church, beautiful church, great congregation. He said, man, I'm going to let you know my last, 4 speakers came in. I don't want to say the revival was a dud, but the people didn't receive and they felt stifled and it just didn't work out. And I'm like, well, I'm not them. I'm not your last 4. I'm fasting and praying. If you fast and pray, we're about to have us a time. I went in 4 services. We had a powerful, powerful, powerful move of God. The Holy Spirit showed up. This pastor said, I never even imagined of having something this powerful. I said, because you were always worried about your past, what you would may call a failure, or your past revivals. But when I came in, I wasn't worried about those last speakers. I wasn't worried about that because I was coming in. My wife and I, there was times that we would go on vacation and we would actually put it on a credit card. We would struggle through our vacation. Let me tell you, we don't do that anymore. We pay for our vacation in advance. Vacations are so much better when you know that before you leave your house, your whole vacation is paid for. Your plane tickets, your condos, your trip to Disney World, your trip to Disneyland, SeaWorld, wherever you go to the mountains to a cabin, you've got your spending money, your grocery money, your shopping money. It's all paid for. And there was a time that I almost didn't even want to plan another vacation with my family because of the past. No, we're moving forward in life. Listen, you got to understand the next ministry you start may be the one. The next business idea that you start may be the one. I'm telling you, you've got to move forward in your thinking. And the Lord was speaking to me so strongly about there are so many people that are hindered in their future because of something that happened in their past. I remember I was speaking to a young lady one time. She was a real young lady. She was about 58 years young. And she was talking about how this guy, guy did her wrong and all this and spoke bad of her, blah, blah, blah. I said, how old were you when this happened? And I mean, it was fresh. The wound was fresh. She said, I was 17. She's wasted 2/3 of her life worrying about some little nappy-headed boy said when she was 17 years old. Now she's almost 60. You got to understand this. You can't let what happened to you in the past move forward. I've had people tell me before that they say, Apostle, whenever I left your ministry, whenever I left, it's like the very next week, you just kept going on without us. We thought we were so close. We thought that we were doing ministry together. We thought we were doing life together. I've had people that I was in their ministry, and when I stepped out, they said, when you stepped out of our ministry, you just kept rolling. I mean, you were going and blowing. And I remember one time a guy said, you stepped out of our ministry, and I was kind of worried about you. The very next week, you were preaching at a large church. I said, and the next, 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 and the next. In fact, 10 weeks in a row after I left, I said, why? Because God's in the moving forward business. He's not in the camping out in the past. He's in the moving forward business. Somebody said that their feelings were hurt at me one time. And I said, why? That they said, because Now, if you got ministry, you're always going to have, if you're a pastor, you're going to have youth pastors and young adult pastors and children's pastors and worship leaders. We're in a ministry, and we had these worship leaders, and they said the week we stepped out, you went full throttle the next service. I said, because God has got to move forward. If somebody steps out of a ministry, the ministry's not over. He just moves on with what's there. He moves on with what's available. You may have a business and your best salesman could step out. Baby, the doors are opening tomorrow. You know what? You may have had an idea, and you may have had a business partner running with you right up until the day of the launch. They step out, but the vision is alive. You got to keep going on. You know, and you got to understand that the hindrance of your past season is over. It is gone. It is done away with. You know, I remember one time a guy he messaged me, and he was a young guy, he was in school, and he said, man, please pray for me. There's this bully that's been bullying me at school and all this, and he was scared and he was worried. And I said, I just pray that you don't see him the rest of the week. Pray that he moves, you know. And so all of a sudden he prayed, and you know, over the next 3 or 4 days, he said, I didn't even see the guy again. I didn't even see him for the rest of the week. And then the next week when he saw it, and things were totally cool. I said, see, things were good. You just had a little ought for a minute. You had a little disagreement or whatever, but don't worry about it. You got to move forward in the things in life. Listen, friends. So many people, believers, Christians, they are so frustrated because the things of the past. Listen, it's kind of like this, that your hands are shackled with chains, and your hands are shackled with chains, and all of a sudden you break free from the chains that were binding you against the wall, but you don't go anywhere. Because you're used to it. I used to work for my cousin at a church, and he had a parrot. The parrot's been 25 years old, been in a cage. He would open the cage, and the parrot would never fly out. Because the past season, the gate never opened, but when the gate did open, he didn't leave. You got to understand this. Your past seasons, listen, you may have failed in 3 businesses, went bankrupt, belly up, but I'm telling you, this may be the one that you need to move forward in. This word is for somebody. This word is for somebody. I hope this word is helping you, encouraging you. You've got to learn to move forward. You may have fallen down so many times in your life, but you've got to get up and you've got to keep moving forward. I remember when I was a little boy, my dad gave me tough love, y'all, real tough love. So I was riding the bike, and I fell and I skinned my knee, and I came in crying. And it was early in the evening. My dad said, all right, he told my mom, he said, put some hydrogen peroxide, put some alcohol on it, and stay in the house where you're safe, son. I said, no, Dad, no, I'm fine now. He said, no, you came in the house because your knee was hurt. Sit down in the house the rest of the night. I didn't know what Dad was doing. I thought my dad was mean, y'all. A few days later, I wiped out on my bike. I scraped my knee up and I started to cry. I started to go in the house. Wait a minute. I can't go in the house. If I go in the house, my dad's not going to let me come out and play anymore. So you know what I did? I got on my bike and I started rolling. That's right, baby. I had blood going all down my leg. My white socks were red. And I just kept riding my bike. But now when I got in, my mom got on to me because I ruined my socks. But I rode that little bike, you know, with the little number 1 on right there on the hand. I was riding my bike around and for 2 hours with my leg bleeding. I didn't care because I knew that if I would have walked in, he would have been like, no, you can't go back out again. See, so I learned that if I may have fallen now, but if I go in whining, I can't ride anymore, y'all. I had to get my miles in. And that's why you got to learn that you may fall down, you may stumble, but man, you got to get up and you've got to keep going in life. Listen to me. I know some of you may have been divorced 2 or 3 times. Ladies, listen to me. The next guy, he's probably the one. I've talked to so many people that's messed up in so many businesses and went bankrupt and lost it all 3 or 4 times. That's okay. Do it again. You know, my wife and I, we worked at multiple churches and ministries, and just, multiple ministries. And then the Lord said, I want you to step out and launch out on your own. You know what? We've been hurt by so many people. So what? You can't tell I've been hurt in the past. Why? Because I'm moving on. Because I didn't want to go in the house and give up. I want to keep rolling. Yeah, I got some fresh wounds. I got some knife wounds. I got some scrapes. I got some scars. But I'm on my back in ministry, y'all, and I'm rolling. I'm popping a wheelie when I'm riding. I'm rolling. Some of you got to understand. If y'all a little bit older than me, you understand about the wibble wobble. We wibble, we wobble, but we don't fall down. You get knocked over, but you just come right back up. Listen, your past season. Now, this is a word for somebody. Your last spiritual mother or father hurt you. Your last spiritual son or daughter stabbed you in the back. So, get over it. I've washed more spiritual fathers' feet, walked in their office, washed their feet. Within a few months, they tried to destroy me. That's okay. I don't care. I love them. I send them a check every so often. Tell them I love them. I've had more spiritual sons use me for a platform, stab me in the back. Okay. I love the next one just as much as I love them. I got to keep going. You can't stop. Some of your friends have betrayed you. Some of your friends have hurt you. Some of your ministry friends, business friends, colleagues have stole all your ideas, stole your inventions, stole your ministry. Keep going. You're okay. Move forward. Don't let the hindrances from your last season hold you back in this next season. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep moving forward in it, man. You gotta go. I'm telling you, this is a season that you can't be limited by things that hurt you in the past. We've all been hurt. We've all been wounded, but we can all be restored. You looked all throughout the Bible at all the great men and women of God. They've went through hardship. They've been betrayed. Some of the main people betrayed people. You know what? Peter denied Christ. And then you know what? A little over 50 days later, he preached the day of Pentecost. You got to understand that there are times that we do people wrong. We repent, we apologize, and we keep going. The majority of people that think the very thing that is holding them back from doing what they're called to do, it has no bearing in their life. So many times when people come to me and they talk to me about an issue, my wife and I have an apostolic network, and the things holding people back, it's really nothing. It's in their mind. It's one of the things. My wife and I recently became new health coaches. We help people in their health, their fitness. We help people, even if you're interested in losing weight, message me. Go to jojodawson.net and message me. I'm interested in this health program. I tell people, I don't care why you couldn't lose weight in the past. You're running with me now. You're going to be okay. You're going to drop the weight. You're going to fulfill your destiny. I had a guy call me recently. He said, Joe, I've been aligned with all these different people and nothing happened. I said, man, if you align with us, I will pray for you. I will fast for you. I will help you move forward. Listen, something my wife and I always love to do. Go to jojodawson.net. Email me any prayer request you have. Any prayer request you have. I will personally pray for every person because I will not allow anybody who comes to me to be stuck with their past hindrance. I will help you pray that hindrance away. We're going to get that thing out of your mind. You got to move forward. This is why I love being an apostle. This is why I love helping people move forward in business. I love helping people move forward in ministry. Now as a health coach, I love helping people move forward in their health. I want you to understand there is nothing in your past that can keep you from your future. There is nothing in your past that can hold you back or even dictate one thing about your future. You must keep going. Go after your God-given dream. Your next season is going to be good. And hey, I want to encourage you. Our YouTube channel, over the next 2 weeks, we're about to release some words. My goodness, we're about to release some words on YouTube. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. And when you do, there's a few words I want you to check out. Everything's falling into place. That's one. The doors are about to open. That's two. I got one called Betrayed I just put out. Very powerful word. If you've been betrayed, it'll help you through it. Got a bunch of different words. This season is coming to an end. That's another powerful word. Go back and check those prophetic words out, man. Go check them out. I just want you to know, I'm willing to pray for you. Like I said, email me. Go to jojodawson.net. Email me. I want to pray for you. I want you to move forward in all that God has called you to do. Or you can go to our Facebook page and message me. You know, I still have Messenger. I personally still check my Messenger myself. So, you know, message me anything about me helping you as a health coach, about moving forward in ministry, business, or prayer request. I'll pray for you. Thank you so much. Hope this was beneficial. Hope this helped. Keep going after God with everything that you got.